Good morning, everyone. Good morning. How you all doing this morning?
Great.
Right.
My wife told me not to call you my gang, and I have a note. Don't forget, we are not your gang. A note. So if I call you my gang, my wife's going to chew me out. So I can't. Thank you, dear, for reminding me. Oh, thank you all for coming. You know, it's a small crowd, but a great crowd. And we're glad that you're here because it's your presence that's making this whole thing worthwhile. First item on our agenda is the approval of the last meeting's minutes. That was on the 20th of January, 2021. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Okay, do I hear a second?
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have the minutes approved. Now comes the most important part of the program, and I'm going to sneak around behind here because we have to give an award.
Can you get through?
Yes, ma'am. I'm good. I'm fit. Okay.
I don't think you are.
I'm not that fit, but I'm fit. All right. We always give an unsung hero award at these meetings. And our unsung hero, I don't care if you stand next to me, Billy. You're okay? All right.
Yay.
Billy Diaz. Billy has been involved in the bereavement business for over 30 years. She's been working to help other people. That's because she's a giver.
Yes.
And we're so glad to have you, Billy.
Thank you.
Really. And we're going to give Billy the RORO Quarterly Resident Organization Appreciation Award, presented by the Regency Oaks Resident Organization for her work in the bereavement area. About 2 years ago, she started a bereavement organization here for Regency Oaks. They give to each other. They listen to each other. And they give more to each other than any other organization that we have within the campus. So we're blessed to have you, Billy. Thank you for all you do, and thank you for the giving that you do. And God bless you, my dear. Can you take that on behalf? We're blessed to have you in our community.
Did you get it on?
Okay. That's the most important part of the program. Anybody who wants to leave can leave now.
Lock the door.
Lock the door. Okay. That's good. It's time for the president's report. Then we'll get on to the committee reports. And let me just, first of all, I want to tell you that we're beginning to come out of COVID. We're finally doing all we need to do internally. We still have some external things to do, but we're beginning to come out of COVID. And that's thanks to all of you. But we still have some issues within the community. One of them is that we have almost triple the amount of takeouts that we had before COVID. We have to get our community, especially our new community members, out into the tavern and out into the resident dining rooms, and we need all your help to do that. So I would ask you to help in getting people out of their rooms, and especially the new residents, out into the dining area. We recently had a 2021 objectives update for the residents. I want to give some highlights of that meeting for those of you that weren't there. Our first objective is to get our great community out of the COVID mode. We're doing that internally. If the Pinellas County rates come on down, we'll be able to do it externally too, and get some of our residents families back into the building and back into the dining rooms. Communications is our second objective. One of our major goals is to get a new Regency Oaks television channel, a second channel, that we begin to do things with. So we hope to do that this year. Third is campus expansion as a primary objective. As you heard Grant say yesterday, hopefully about the middle of June, they'll begin work on our new town hall. And that, 6 months later, we expect to see it completed. For next year, we're stressing the need for an assisted living building. And that's one of our main goals for next year. We're implementing the LCS 10 hospitality promises. That involves the use of the extraordinary impressions card that you've all seen. If you haven't used one to give a thanks to an associate that's done something special for you, use that card, because that card means a lot to us, and we hope to get it implemented in greater force this year. Now, campus expansion, talked about. The last thing is we have a great dining effort. We have the best dining facility in all of LCS. I'm convinced of that. And we're going to make it better with your help, as good as it is. So thank you for trying to get everybody out, and thank you for helping us make it better. So we need your help in getting residents back to the dining room and the tavern. Let's get especially focus on our new residents. We are reinitiating in April outings such as going to restaurants, casino trips. Let's take advantage of all that and sign up for it all. Go to the sign-up desk and sign up and go out and have fun. Let us work together to bring more life back to our great community. We continue to need your help to make this happen. I remind you that we've lost Mary Mackey as our LCS Vice President, but we have a new great one, Sherry Robinson. So Sherry will be around when you see her. Go up, introduce yourself, make her feel welcome. She's a great and pleasant lady, and we'll get to know her here in the next year. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Donald Hamilton. Don, you take
I'm going to be reporting on two committees. The first is Health and Safety. And I'm going to start off with the mission statement for the Health and Safety Committee. The mission of the Health and Safety Committee is to be aware of and note any situations or actions within the Regency Oaks community that could impact the health, safety, comfort, and quality of life of our fellow residents. I know that there's at least two people here that are members of the Health and Safety Committee. Billy Diaz is one, Robin Graham is another. The next is Susan Haverbeck, Karen Lee, John Myers, Phyllis Mansour, Toby Sugar, and our 3 staff helpers. We're lucky we've got 3 staff helpers that work with health and safety. Leslie Haas, the Resident Service Director, Chris Seneketowicz, Personalized Living Administrator, and Maria Morst. Maria is our new wellness nurse. You will begin to see her around the campus here on a half-time basis. She has to train a replacement for her former position in the health center. Health and safety had a very busy first quarter. First off, many ideas, questions, and hopes as we prepared for the Pfizer vaccine shot 1 on January 16th and shot 2 on February 6th, and the additional backup dates for those who were missed. We as residents will always remember this experience. The second, with the herd, all of us in this community achieving a high rate of inoculations, a controlled beginning of a return to normal throughout the community began. And there have been many questions that are asked at our meetings. Thanks to our staff, resource personnel, especially Leslie and Chris, we got the answers and directions we needed. It has been a great quarter for health and safety. Thirdly, we give ongoing directions on recycling with presentations to residents, associates, and caregivers as dictated by our haulers' preferences. And lastly, we give ongoing information provided to both current and new residents as they gain the exposure and questions to the Regency Oaks lifestyle. That's what we're doing right now, the Regency Oaks lifestyle as we go back into our regular activities. My next committee is Building and Grounds. The mission statement of Buildings and Grounds shall act as an advocacy group for all Regency Oaks residents in both independent living and Regency Oaks healthcare that have site-wide common applicability to their residences. It's a very active committee. Tony Quattromani, Gene Beagles, Don Graham, Ed Hawks, Earl Kerr, Chris Swanson, Joe Timmons, Mike White, and our support, of course, Darwin Perez, the maintenance director, and Corey Schultz, who we can't live without. Corey is the guy that does all the grass keeping and landscaping for Regency Oaks, and he's a very important member of our committee. We've been very active in Buildings and Grounds as well. Progress has been made on residents' questions relating, progress has been made on residents' questions relating to turf rehabilitation following construction completion and internal procedures to controlling mold uncovered during repairs. We have a lot of sidewalk superintendents in Regency Oaks, and when they do repair work, they check on what's going on at that particular site. And we had some water problems in the south building following the heavy storm in November. And there was concern about what were our procedures involving mold prevention and cleanup. We got those questions answered, and we're satisfied that they're doing a good job when they encounter mold in construction. With the outstanding herd, all results following inoculations in January and February, a return of maintenance personnel was permitted to residents to complete various outstanding non-emergency work orders. Still open are those work orders relating to appliance repair or replacement, where the manufacturers are struggling to add supplies due to COVID-19 shutdowns. Currently outstanding work orders are a nominal 10 to 15. The weekly maintaining maintenance meetings began again and are appreciated by the residents, and a great source of the temporary problems that are repaired promptly. The committee is also gathering suggestions for a 2022 capital projects. And lastly, Regency Oaks grounds get frequent praise for appearance. Planning is underway for installation of new plantings following the town hall construction. An additional bird feeding spot is planned by the Regency Oaks Health Center. You know, we were very lucky to be where we are. We're south of Lake Chautauqua, which is just down the road, and we're on a great flyaway for birds. We have several bird residents on the campus, and we do have tenants. So as you go out on your walks enjoying the weather, the good weather, and getting some exercise, keep your eyes peeled for the songbirds and many different varieties of fine birds that we have on our campus. Thank you.
Okay. Pass it on over.
And to Margaret.
Welcome back, Margaret.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I am the chairman of the Dining Services Committee. Our mission statement is, the Dining Services Committee acts as an advisory group representing all Regency Oaks independent living residents. We advocate a fine dining service which provides a variety of selections to please most residents' taste in a friendly, attractive, comfortable dining room or in a more casual style dining in the Tavern in the Oaks. The members of our committee include Bobby Belcher. Hello, Bobby. Walt Guzik, Brenda Jones, Edie James, Tammy Maurice, Amelia Petty, Linda Rudiger, and Judy Studerbaker. And I want to thank the members of the committee. We had a lot of emergency meetings during the beginning of COVID to try to help iron things out when we brought things back again. And they were given like 1 or 2 days notice, so I appreciate that. Also, part of our committee members is Ricky Bacher, Phil Sertz, and Johnny Hubbs, who come to our meetings regularly, and we work on things together. Things that have occurred that we have accomplished include beer and wine club meeting. The wine club met as a north and a south group. We're now finally back to one big group. I believe it may be one of the biggest groups on campus. Gourmet dinner started up again. The chef table continues. We have now added table in the garden, which is a new thing that if you are interested, you call Ricky and they set up a table out in the garden and you can dine outdoors and enjoy the ambiance and good food. Enchanted Evening was held in February. The dining room opened to 100%. We have a limited salad bar, which was extremely well received. The tavern has opened to 60%. The tavern is open for lunch. I encourage you, those that haven't tried it for lunch, to come try it. Grill on the Breezeway started again. And just last week, there was Evening Under the Stars at Ricky's house. Thank you.
Hi. Hello. I'm Robin Graham, and it's my honor to be the chairman for the Employee Gift Fund Committee. The Employee Gift Fund, as we all know, is the residents' only way to financially recognize and appreciate the associates who make our lives possible here every day. We simply couldn't do it without them. It's an honored, long-time tradition, and it's our way of saying thank you for the time that they put in to enable our lives every day. Our mission, the Gift Fund Committee's mission, is to educate residents about the Gift Fund and to collect, account for, and equitably distribute your donations among eligible associates. And that's what we've endeavored to do. Traditionally, our Gift Fund checks are distributed at a Christmas party. And we've explored other ways that we could possibly reward outstanding performance over the year. And we continue to do that. We've met now 4 times as a committee. And the folks that are on the committee, I'd like them to stand if they would, please. Alphabetically, I had them as Judy Diver, Betty E. Gray, Eleanor Finn, Andrea Hagner, Norma Jean Infante, Jim Kiefer, Carolyn Montgomery, Alice Quattromani, Ann Tanner, and Sandra Wayne. Thank you all. Thank you all very, very much. This is a diverse group of folks. We came together in January. Half of us had absolutely no idea how the gift fund worked, and the other half had been involved with it for a while, maybe. It was about as diverse a group of people in terms of experience and length of time at Regency Oaks The only thing we had in common was that we wanted to get it right and do what needed to be done, and that's what we've striven to do. The first thing we did, just to demonstrate the creativity of this group, this just sprung out of the first meeting. We designed a logo. You've seen this around the campus. Andrea Hagner and Judy Diver are the artists behind this. And Andrea took it even further. Sandy, would you show? See? She's put our logo on bags. You see it on the boxes around, and it's just to remind you that of the mission of this group and the slogan that supports it, which is many hands helping many hearts helping many hands. I hope you appreciate it. We also did a pretty gift fund letter to explain what that was all about at the first of the year. And we have been very busy trying to fulfill our 2 objectives for the year. First, to increase the number of people who participate in the gift fund. And secondly, to come up with a methodology by which the gift fund distribution can be flexible enough to deal with whatever changes the future may bring, as well as fulfill our mission to support the people who have taken care of us. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Fred Green. I'm chairman of the Technology and Communications Committee. Our committee mission is to recommend to management new options or improvements to existing technology and communications equipment systems that will enhance the residents' quality of life. Members of my committee are Des Bailey, Fred Gardner, Bob Millett, Mike Murphy, George Shaheen, Nelson Toll, Lou Weislogel, and that's it. During the last quarter, COVID-19 did to our committee what it's done to a lot of committees. It turned our business almost off. We were working on a project that required work around the campus, the emergency communication project using FM radios. We could not run the test because of the COVID, but it will soon be revised and the testing will be completed, and then we will recommend to management what our recommendation is. The installation of Wi-Fi has largely been completed in the north building, and the south building project is underway, as you know. Relocation of the computers from the computer center was delayed, pending the necessity to utilize the computer center space for additional apartments. The new computer conferences that we held, the first one has been held, has met with a great deal of resident interest, and the second is scheduled for May 4th, 2001. Please, all of you attend if you're interested. We're going to have some very good topics for you. The spectrum replacement project is still in progress, and next on the horizon is a project to develop an expanded TV capability at Regency Oaks to utilize the upcoming second TV channel, currently designated as channel 733. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Lou Weislogel, chairman of the Resident Activities Committee. But before I begin, I just want to make something clear. I'm on the Technology Committee representing all the dummies that know nothing about technology. I'm there to ask the question on behalf of all dummies.
Thank you.
The Resident Activities Committee objectives are to provide a variety of activities and programs to stimulate the minds, bodies, and spirits of the residents of Regency Oaks. We have a rather large committee: Millie Diaz, Betty Egray, Mary Ann Gardner, Marion Green, Bill Muscadini and his wife Lorraine, Rita Singer, Ann Tanner, Adrian Terrace, Ruth Ann Wilsey, and of course we're led by Tiffany and Ginger. Well, the number of activities and programs has continued to expand each month. Exercise classes are almost back to normal. Dance class is going to begin next month. Movies are shown 3 nights a week and 5 days during the week. Church services have returned. Concerts and cocktail parties continue to be scheduled. This month, bus trips to malls, restaurants, museums, casinos, and racetrack have been scheduled. Be careful with your money when you go to the racetrack. And Tiffany and Ginger, of course, are to be commended for their efforts in finding ways to continue to provide activities during this COVID experience. And she does a great job. I don't know what I'd do without her. I don't know what Brant would do without her. And of course, residents are always encouraged to make suggestions to any member of the committee or to Ginger and Tiffany. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Chris Swanson. I'm chairman of the Finance Committee. And our committee mission is to monitor the revenues and expenditures for the operation of Regency Oaks and to identify and prioritize capital expenditures. Our objectives are obviously to conduct monthly review of financial reports, present quarterly progress on our goals, review the 2020 financial audits, which may be interesting this year because we have 1 month of Brookdale and 11 months of LCS. We're not quite sure how that's going to pan out, so it'll be interesting for us number crunchers anyway. Maybe not everybody likes to crunch numbers. And we'll review and prioritize the Regency Oaks 2022 capital budget. That's a little early on that. And then assist the Red Oak staff reach the goals set by LCS. My committee members are Bobby Belcher, just wave your hand if you're here, Marie Bishop, Fred Green, Don Hamilton, Bill Muscadini, Ed Newton, Tony Quattromoni, Chris Swanson, oh, that's me, hey, C.L. Wilmot, and Lou Weislogel. This is kind of an interesting time of year because we're waiting for the audits and yet we're not ready to do anything for budgeting. But we did complete review of year-to-date monthly financial statements. And we're providing input when we can for the Extraordinary Impressions program. And I'd like to add to what Don said this morning, is that these cards are important. And that's what we ask. I've got my committee to remind them to fill these out. And I'm going to remind you all to fill these out. But don't always just the ones you meet. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that we need to compliment. I mean, you get a well-cooked meal, it's not the server, it's the cook. You know, and also you get clean laundry. There's the people in the laundry, you know, we don't see them, but they're very important to the operation. So if you're appreciative of those little things that you get, fill out the card. You can put on here the cook. Even though you don't know his name and the date, and say it was a well done job, well done. But I think when the cooking and paying attention to details is probably a good thing. So please do that. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Judy Studebaker.
Closer.
I'm Judy Studebaker, and I chair the Sales and Marketing Committee. The members of our committee, and if you're here, please wave your hand. Eleanor Finn, Fred Green, Chet James, Carolyn Montgomery, Lorraine Moscardini, Ed Newton, Peggy Patterson, Ann Siraj, and Perry Goodbar, the Director of Sales and Marketing, of course. The mission statement of the RORO Sales and Marketing Committee is to contribute to maximizing Regency Oaks' occupancy rate and utilize the ambassador program to help achieve this goal. During COVID, welcome videos from ambassadors were created for new residents prior to move-in, and other videos were made to encourage prospects to come and visit when we could reopen. We are implementing a new program to assist prospects in trial stays. All committee members who could participated in our first, quote, call 'em all in the sales and marketing office on January the 20th. Each of us was given a list of approximately 15 people to call. These were people who either had been here or had called for information about Regency Oaks. Most of the calls went to voicemail, or the numbers had been disconnected, but some committee members had up to 7 people answer their calls. Perry and the sales counselors thought we had a very successful afternoon. Since many of the COVID restrictions have now been lifted, sales and marketing is slowly getting back to normal, whatever that turns out to be. Sales of apartments are going well. Thank you.
President of the FLICRA board here at Regency Oaks. And I'm also the only male on the gift fund committee. And I'm the guy that said, if you like it, say something, write something. So please, share that with a dozen of your neighbors today. If you like something, say something and write it. Now, on to FLICRA. One of the things that we are focusing on this year is communication and education. Before I tell you what we're doing there, we're required by our bylaws to have an annual election. That election took place yesterday, and we had unanimous support for re-electing the current officers of FLICRA with one role change. Robin has moved over to legislative affairs to join Ed Bevan, and Carolyn Montgomery is our new secretary, and that was also unanimously supported by the board. Regarding communication and education, there will be a class this Friday. Mike Murphy is teaching a class for those people who are enrolled the first year compliments of grant to remind them why they want to renew and what FLICRA does for them. So it's an educational meeting that Mike's conducting. Posters are up in the elevators. I would encourage you to attend, even if you're already a member, so you understand fully what your vote counts for. And again, there was also a nice video that was produced by Tallahassee, and they sent down. We showed that at one of the Tuesday talks. It's now available. You can contact Tiffany if you missed that, and she'll send you a link on where you can find that. Real quickly, our board, Tony Kamasa is VP of the North Building. Mike Murphy is VP of the South. Carolyn is our secretary. Bob Pierce is our treasurer. Ed Bevan will work with Robin on legislative affairs. Pat Glogowski will be working with Tony. And Sandy Ween is, she's working for everybody. Me, Robin, and I'd like to especially thank Sandy and Carolyn for putting together another one of our key deliverables in the area of training, which is a marketing manual for each of the board members that explains all the things that they need to know to answer any residents' questions. Let me see if I covered everything.
I think you did.
Oh, I left the most, Mike Murphy developed a database that allows us to be in sync with the Oaks as well as Tallahassee. We know when people are coming up for renewal, we're reaching out to those with our sales teams and getting them to re-sign. And the proof of all that working is we're at 79% enrollment in FLICRA. So this close to 8 out of 10. And remember, your vote counts. So, and don't think it doesn't. When we write letters and send them to Tallahassee, it makes a difference. Thank you.
Do you have anything you want to add, Jane?
No.
Okay. All right. Okay, time for some questions from the audience. Let's have your questions. Yes, sir, Jeff.
I forgot to ask Gene if my volume was okay this morning.
Was his volume okay this
You
morning?
did a good job, Jim. Thanks.
Feel better now? All right, good. How about some other questions, okay?
Back there.
Yes, ma'am.
It's off. Turn it back
Do we have another mic that works?
If that one works.
No, it's
Sure.
not. Maybe you're just gonna have to speak up.
Here's this one works.
Here. Here's one that works. We'll get it back to you. Patience. Close.
This is so important. My
Yes, ma'am.
name is Ann Siraj, and I wanted to let you all know that in 1992, I attended a cancer support group with a friend at Suncoast Hospital, and Millie was the leader.
Aha. Millie was the leader. Huh? I told you she was a giving person. And she gives to others. That's what makes her special. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Ellen Richter. I'm a relatively new resident here, though I have to say on June 15th, it will be a year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I can't believe how fast the year has gone by, and it's a pleasure to be here, and I'm glad we made the decision to be here, and I thank you. This is my first meeting to meet everybody.
We're glad to have you.
But as it
Thank you
said,
for coming.
Better late than never.
Okay.
And it was very interesting, and I'm glad to meet and hear what everybody had to say. I'm also very happy to hear that for 2022, assisted living facility has been put on the,
It's on the books. We'll see if it gets funded next year. We think it will.
however, okay, I would like to, one of the reasons why my husband and I have come here is because we have heard in the past that memory care has also been promised. So I want to know if assisted living includes memory care, or memory care is a separate entity.
Now, memory care is a separate thing, and it is included. The current assisted living will be transitioned into memory care, and it's in the same package. So next year, hopefully, we'll get assisted living, a new building. We'll take our current assisted living and transition it into memory care. That makes sense?
I hear you, yes.
I hear you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'd like to ask a question. Don?
Yes, sir. Here, let me pass the mic over.
I've been on the board for 13 years. We used to fill this room with over 100 people. I'd like to ask you why we're not filling the room with 100 people.
They're staying home and watching the video that's filmed every minute. An awful lot of people say, I don't need to get out and go to those meetings anymore, I can watch it on TV. That's right.
It's safer for a lot of people.
It's safer for a lot of people who have a little trouble getting around, and some others who just would rather stay home and watch it on TV.
Yeah.
We already see that happening with Tuesday Talk. That was like half filled this week.
We'll have to reach over.
Need more donuts.
Need more donuts, huh? Well, that's what Ricky does. When he has a brand meeting, he bribes people. Okay, any other comments or questions before I pass the mic to Brant to see if he has any comments?
No, Don, thank you for the invitation to join you, but I don't have anything to add. Great meeting.
Okay, that's because we have great residents
There we go.
and a great leader. Okay, well, thank you all for coming. I appreciate your attendance. Let's keep it going. And let's get our people, let's get your neighbors out.